So last time we talked about dating. This time I want to take it a step further. What makes a good relationship? So we're going to try to cover, if Amu allows, the science of playing hard to get, how to be happily married in practice now, what statistics say would make the best match statistically, and the last part, we leave you on a depressing note, the plague that hit our dating world, the dating crisis. Okay? So Dr. Lieberman tells this joke. A girl came to the matchmaker. What are you looking for? Handsome, funny, witty, listens more than he talks, financially stable, aka rich, appreciates the finer things, right? 10 years later, she comes back to the matchmaker. Not fat, not corny, listens while watching football, can take me out once in a while. As yes. Oh, that you're gonna have to stay tuned. Hold on, that's a surprise at the end. Where's Nima? As my life coach Nima taught me, there are no, this is a real Nima quote. Hold on. There are plenty of fish in the sea, but there are also oil spills. Oh, Mahila.
They say there's a lot of fishes in the sea, but there was an oil spill, and a few of the fishes got killed.
Anyways, playing hard to get. Raise your hand if you think that's a good thing or a bad thing. Playing hard to get. Is it good to play hard to get? Raise your hand if you think that's a good thing. Wow, everybody's being so honest. Ooh. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you. So we all talk about attraction, and we all define attraction as what? What would you define attraction as? Good. Thinking someone's beautiful. There's a deeper level. There's something called heuristics. Anybody heard of heuristics? Mental shortcuts. Okay, I'll give you a very Persian example. You have a suit that was $500. Expensive or not expensive? Depends. If that suit was originally $1,800 and now it's $500, what do they say? Muffed, right? Come on, like, I don't even know what it is. I don't care what it is. I'm buying it. Like, I'm getting a steal. I'm going to take two if I need it, I'll resell that thing. Have you heard of the law of authority? You ever been to the cosmetic counter in Bloomingdale's? So I have a daughter. Where's Ella? So Sephora, Bloomingdale's Cosmetics, you name it, we're there, right? And they all wear, in the cosmetics counter, they wear a white coat. Why? A white lab coat. Why is that? You ever think of that? Heuristics. When you see a white lab coat, you trust that person more. They're more trustworthy. Oh, that's the cream $400 for La Mer? I need it. Yeah, you're right. You look like a doctor, right? That's a great deal. God, may God bless you all with a daughter as your first child. It's the biggest blessing, but it's also a very big learning curve. You call a doctor. He's available tomorrow. Call another doctor. Guy's got a waiting list for 3 months. Who do you want to go to? I'm not going to that doctor's.
I did tomorrow, bro. I'm not waiting.
So girls, he does not need to go to a place hard to get. Brian right here. But these are all things that we think about subconsciously. Does that make sense so far? What makes things valuable? Right? The world has created artificial demand for things. Right? Why are certain watches so expensive? Cars so expensive? They can't make more of them? They know where China is. Because it keeps the value up high. So I'm going to quote you something by Psychology Today, Robert Cialdini. He's the foremost expert on influence. And he found that people value and desire something more when it is rare or difficult to obtain. Right? Only 5 left. Right? This is where the Persians got that going out of business sign, right? Like there was a sign, I'm not kidding. I used to drive my kid to school. I said, the thing had a going out of business sign for years. she's third grade, fourth grade, fifth. I'm like, how long does it take this guy?
It's like Zohan.
Yeah. It's the actual name of the place.
I'm like, what's going on? Like, does he need help? So that's why, though. All right? That's how it works. So law of scarcity is the more rare something is, the more important it is to us. Now let's take it back to dating now. Okay? When you're going out with the girl, you're going out with a guy. Guy is all over you. All over you. Not physically, just I know, I see Avi like going into space. I'm like, I gotta bring him down to earth sometimes, you know? I have a very good connection. And he just can't wait to go on another date with you. What do you truly feel? Head over heels. So the law of scarcity tells us they're not so attractive. Subconsciously, we will feel like they're not so attractive. Be Brad Pitt. So we don't want to spend too much time on this because we can spend all night on this. But it's the same thing in sales. You don't want to be too forthcoming. You don't want to be too desperate, right? The guy who's Isaac actually taught me something. In construction, the guy who's too desperate, usually not a great option. The guy who's busy might not return your call. There's a reason he's busy. So when we go on dates, married guys date too, by the way. You date your wife your whole life. Remember, even if you're head over heels, keep a little excitement. Right? Don't play games, but don't let it on too much. Nahal's inside. I can tell you the Nahal story. Baruch Hashem. How do I cover this, Alan? When Nahal and I were just hanging out, I remember like her friend Rachel came up to, she's like, Roy, I've never seen like someone treat Nahal like that. Like most guys would be like drooling over her, and you couldn't care less. Because I really didn't care at that time. She was just a friend. But it works. Don't give off too much of a vibe that you're just like, ah. Like on the first date you want to marry them. Unless you're going on a Hasidic shidduch dating, by all means. I'll tell you another study. Study in 2011. The authors had college women view Facebook profiles of 4 male students. First one liked them a lot. The second one liked them on average. The third one wasn't sure. What do you think they liked the most? Initially, the women reported liking the men who liked them a lot, a bit more than the ones who liked them an average amount. However, who did they like the most at the end? The ones who were uncertain. Those were intriguing. Those won. That's scarcity at work. Now, what's the flip side of this? We can fall for the trap. You hear? If somebody makes themselves so hard to get, all of a sudden I want them. Why? You know how many times I've wanted to buy something just because it's hard to get? No comment. This is being taped. I don't need these things. But it messes with your mind. So be on the lookout when you're dating. If the person is not a fit, but you feel like for some reason maybe there's a scarcity effect going on. Okay? Can we take an ADD detour? Can I depress you guys for a night? Okay, good. So I want to take a detour now on how to have a successful relationship. Because Nahal and I love nothing more than to get people married. It's very difficult in this community. But more important than that is how to have people be happily married. Okay? What's the divorce rate today? Good. Dr. Gutman says 67%. The lowest statistic I found was 41%. Take your pick. 50 to 67%. Okay? Now, how many are happily married though? So, according to a psychologist, Tai Tashiro, guess how many 10 people walk down the chuppah. We won't say chuppah, chas v'shalom, the aisle. How many of them end up happily married? Throw out a number. Jason. Ding, ding, ding. If we had points, it was a Friday night at our house, you get a point. Doesn't get you far nowadays with inflation. 30% remain happily married. So what's the key to being part of this 30% club? So remember, you don't want to just get married. Being happily married or being unhappily married will be the biggest effect on your health, your mental wellness, your financial stability. Everything is affected by your marriage. Right? The Torah teaches us your parnasa comes through your wife. How do you get to be in this 30%? So I'm going to share with you a researcher, Dr. Gottman. It's one of my favorites. He had a love lab for 40 years. He studied couples. He made this like pretend apartment with cameras and everything, and he put people there for a weekend, and he would study them, and he predicted divorce with a 93.6% accuracy. Pretty amazing, right? What did he find as the number one determining factor if you will stay happily married or not? Come back next part. Can you guess? Okay. I hate to break it to you. That happens. My wife's inside, but she's going to be watching. Okay, Rambam says respect. What was the number one thing? All of you are saying amazing things. But what did he find?
I think I know before. It's like that they would refer to something that's happened in the past and they keep like bringing it up kind of thing.
No, that's like Persian syndrome, but close.
If they had contempt for each other, they were more likely to divorce. That much I recall.
Aha, beautiful. So Kayvon is describing the 4 horsemen that Dr. Gottman has basically published about, and it's his thing, that there's 4 horsemen that lead to divorce. But what leads to a happy marriage? What was the biggest thing that led them to be happily married? Okay. Very cute. These are cute answers. Happy wife. Good. Bids. Alex, that's the point.
I've heard you say this 4 times.
Like, good. You should know. See, 5th time's a charm. So bids. Right? What are bids? What is a bid?
Where it's like, let's say you realize your partner likes muffins, for example, so you go out of your way to get muffins. You do something small that's like important to that.
Amazing. Rabbi Israeli said, great people do a lot of little things consistently. Dr. Gottman did not find that those who are happily married got an amazing gift for their wife on their anniversary. That was not one of the statistics. Bids can be small, verbal, or nonverbal. They're basically, I'll define what a bid is. It's a request to connect. And we do it all the time, throughout the day. It could be funny, it could be a question, it could be, hey, whatever happened to that situation at work yesterday? Or, do you want to talk about your plans for the weekend? It could be a pat on the back. It could be anything you could think of, which is a subtle, indirect ask to connect to the other person. Okay? Sounds simple, right? Purposely subtle. Because people are, why is it subtle? Can you figure out why is it subtle? Rabbi Twersky says, almost all of us suffer from a low self-esteem in our generation. Right? So low self-esteem. So people don't want to put themselves out there. You're scared to get hurt. So it's a subtle way, a subtle nudge. There's 3 ways you can reply to a bid. Anybody guess the 3 ways? Engage, good. Ignore. Got marriage material right here. Or, that's good. That's the first one, right? Acknowledge the bid, turn towards them, turn away from them, or completely reject the bid and turn into an argument. Why are bids so important? Those who stayed married, happily married, they turn towards each other 86% of the time. And the disasters, those who got divorced, etc., only turn towards each other 33% of the time. Just a couple weeks ago, I was out of town for work. out of the blue. I'm literally walking from meeting to meeting. I get a text from the hall. Thank you so much for working hard for our family. We love you very much. That's a bid. Right? Subtle, small bid. Made my day. It was like 3 Celsius. All right, I was on cloud 9. How much does it cost? Now, the Gemara in Brachot, it's one of my favorite Gemaras. It says when you give a poor person, I probably said this about 50 times. When you give a poor person $1, you get 6 mitzvahs. 6 mitzvahs, great, you know, it's not bad. You get a good return on investment. You give a person a kind word, a smile, you get 11. Right? Bids. The Gemara knew this already. Science is just catching up. It's so important to connect on that level. They seem so easy. 80% of divorced men and women said their marriages broke up because they gradually grew apart and lost a sense of closeness, or because they didn't feel loved and appreciated. Bid often. So, why am I telling you guys this? Even Tony's now. We don't even have the one token married guy, right? Because you can practice now. Somebody came, I think it was a Chafetz Chaim. She had a 6-month-old, I believe. What do I do how do I raise a kid well? He said, you're 6 months too late. You want to have a good marriage? You work on it before you get married. Right? That's why the Torah places such an emphasis on bids. We're supposed to say 100 blessings a day. You know that? 100 blessings a day. That's proof that we eat all the time. Jews just constantly eat. Should have seen it. We just flew back from Vegas, my son and I. Like, you should have seen our 2 seats are just full of food. Full. The guy's like this little. But practice bidding. Practice with God. Practice now. Don't wait till you get married. Take on 3 little things, 2 minutes a day. The Rebbe, Lubavitcher Rebbe's favorite blessing, favorite thing, favorite prayer was Modani. Take on upon yourself. Rosh Hashanah is coming. We're about to ask for a laundry list of things. At least I am. How about you guys? I'm Persian. I try to be poru, you know? Like, the open gates are open. It's a time of God answering us. Let's go. But put a little bit of an effort. Wake up, say thank you, God. Modani, it takes 7 seconds. Right? 10 seconds if you're slow. Short prayer. Take on to say 2 blessings a day on food. 2 blessings a day, what does it take? It makes us mindful of what we're doing. Right? Small little things. These tiny steps will take us a few minutes, but change us completely. You guys ready to get blown away? It's going to get R-rated. One thing that will help you find the one. Dr. Goldman talks about one thing that will really mean the difference between a good relationship or a bad relationship. So we talked about bidding, but what makes you compatible and great with another person? Any ideas? So, divorce-proofing relationship is not how you handle disagreements, but how you are with each other when you're not fighting. Okay? The foundation, this is Dr. Gottman, is to strengthen the friendship that is the heart of any marriage. Key there is friendship. Friendship. What's the deepest connection you could have with a spouse? Best friend. Right? The word for sex in the Torah is what? And Adam blank Eve. What does it say? Knew Eve. He knew Eve. The deepest connection is a deep friendship. You hear? Only once you're married. Don't get too excited. You're going to have to tone a lot if I get this misconstrued. To know. Dr. Gottman says in Wonder, if you don't really know someone, how can you truly love them? No wonder the biblical term for sexual love is to know. Friendship doesn't only produce happy marriages. Who wants to have great sexual relations? Baruch Hashem. Shine the camera on these people. What is the determining factor? I'm surprised you didn't piggyback off of that one, Avi. I totally set you up for this. No, right? He's a Cohen.
No habla inglés.
The determining factor in whether wives feel satisfied with sex, romance, and passion in their marriage is by 70% the quality of the couple's friendship. By the way, do you think that statistic is the same for men? Yes. Same one. It's from Dr. Gottman. Every MFT has to go through a course of Dr. Gottman. That's how great he is. Why am I telling you this? What do we bless a couple under the chuppah? Samach tesamach re'im, re'im, ahovim. Friends. Why am I telling you this? You know how many times we try to sell people up? And you know what the number one answer we get? I got so excited. I saw a guy from New York. He has a daughter. I said, finally, I'm going to get a shidduch. Right? You know what's the number one excuse people give when you try to set them up? No? That's the number two. Before we even get that, not physically attracted. By the way, that's only if they're honest too, by the way. Louder. You know how stupid that answer is? Do you guys understand that 70% of how satisfied you will be in your physical relationship, the determining factor of whether your relationship will be a great one or not, is whether or not you know them? And that's the reason you're not going to date that person? No wonder there's a 30% happiness rate in marriages. We got it all backwards. Right? So not to make things awkward, but look at your phone. Who are you friends with? Who do you have a great friendship with of the opposite sex? Oh, thank you, sweetie. I was just talking about you. What did I say about Ella?
He loves Sephora.
I'm on camera. I had to say the truth, Ella. I'm telling you, I mean, you guys all know this already. Nahal and I started as great friends. We were totally platonic. Stop disregarding the people that are your friends. All right? It's going to be really awkward after this. It's great. We want to go to sleep, so that's great. You guys are all going to leave after. But look at who your friends are. They might be your best match. Okay? The problem in society, Dr. Hendricks says, is that people base something long-term like a marriage on something fleeting like looks or money. So far we covered two things. One, bids, right? We'll cover heuristics, laws of attraction. We covered bids. We covered friendship being the key, the glue. Now let's shift gears, why people aren't getting married. And Avi's going to come and give us this class. Why are people not getting married? There's something called decision paralysis. Too many choices paralyze a person to inaction. Have you ever shopped at Trader Joe's? Raise your hand. I should have bought stock up there. Have you ever shopped at Ralph's? So my Shalom Bayit is 100% because of Trader Joe's. I cannot screw up something that Nahal asked me to get. You know, it's like, get the mayonnaise, there's one choice. Right, get the ketchup, there's one choice. I go to Ralph's. You gotta send a picture and there's no internet. You know what I'm talking about? Like, and then get the one on the left. There's like 8 ones on the left. I gotta do the circle thing, you know, and it drives me nuts. I'm sorry, Kroger. You know, like it just. Why is Trader Joe's so successful? Simple. Okay. For every 10 additional mutual funds offered by a 401k, you get 2% less participation. You hear that? Every 10 additional mutual funds, you actually get less participation. This is very contrary to Persian belief. More the better. No, the more is not better. When I started in business, I used to always try to offer a ton of stuff to customers. You end up with nothing. Be strategic and be focused. And it's the same in dating. They did a study. They had 24 varieties of jam on one table. Okay? I truly think this is the biggest problem plaguing this generation. 24 varieties of jam on this table, 6 on this table. Okay? 20% more people stopped at the 24 variety table. So you had a lot more traffic. Foot traffic was all going to the 24 jam table. But what was the conversion rate? Those who stopped at the 6 variety table with only 6 jams were 10 times more likely to purchase. Procter & Gamble reduced their head and shoulder options from 26 to 15 because of this decision paralysis, and sales went up. When we have more choices, we're less satisfied. You live in a generation where there's tons of choices for dating. You didn't need to come here. You could have sat on your toilet swiping. All right? I'll tell you, I'm going to make it awkward tonight. You could have just sat at home swiping your phone. You would have had access to more girls, more guys than any social event that you could have gone to. How's that working out for you? Have you found your match? Have you found them? Decision paralysis. Because we have so many options in this generation, that's why there's so few marriages. Limit your options. Cut it out. Cut it out. It's very hard to say. You go on a date finally with a great girl, but she doesn't look like the other girl on the app. You go with the guy, but he doesn't drive the car that the other one had. What a bubba. Just get on with life. Stop comparing. Stop confusing ourselves. You look at so many options, the same thing in anything in life. There's too many choices, you get paralyzed. That's why it's called decision paralysis. So the homework is cut it out. Be focused in dating. Write what you're looking for. Write your must-haves. 3 things, not 20. Write 3 things we cannot have. This is from Rabbi and Dr. Twersky, Abraham Twersky, first year of marriage. And that's it. And what do I need to do to work on myself? That's all there should be. It's not rocket science. You don't believe me? Go to Mea Shearim, go to Bnei Brak. They just don't date as many people as you've dated in a month in their whole life, probably. All right? So I want to leave you with the key to the root cause of the dating crisis from the Gemara. And then if we have time, I made a slideshow recapping what we did last time and adding really fun pictures. So the Gemara in Sota says, it is hard for God to make matches as it is the splitting of the sea. Brian's nodding. This guy studies. I really look up to a few people in this crowd. One of them is Brian. Steven studies stuff that I don't even know what we're studying, but he's studying it. It's so important to take upon ourselves something that we're going to work on ourselves. I said it last time, I'll say it again. Take on 5 minutes of studying. Take on a chavruta once a week. Take on a study partner 20 minutes a week. You want help finding someone? Contact myself, contact Avi. We'll find someone. Free. Take on something where we're going to grow every week. Right? You want to meet the one? Look yourself in the mirror. Are you the one for that one? And if you're honest with yourself and the answer is no, then be that person. Push yourself to be that person. Because if you're not, then you're cheating yourself out of life. Right? We're going into Rosh Hashanah now. We're going to ask for life. For what? What are you going to do with it? Right? I just came back from 24 hours with my son in Vegas. Okay, fine, it was Vegas, but still. We had a one-on-one trip, my 5-year-old. First one-on-one trip we ever had. That's what life's about. Those moments. So how could something be hard for God as splitting of the sea? How is anything hard for God? So it's to teach us lessons. The first lesson we learn is just like God changed nature. The sea split. Naturally, it does not split, right? So too, God changes nature to make matches. If you ask anybody who met their match, it's usually a miraculous story. You know, we happened to go on the same trip. Nahal was supposed to go on a different trip. She went on this trip. I went on a trip, never been on. Whatever it is, it's miraculous. That's the first lesson. The second lesson is, when did the sea split? Anybody know? Did it just happen like that? Did Moses say, sea split, and it split? Good. What was your name? Rojan. He went into the water. Nachshon ben Aminadab went into the water each year. And only then did it split. The Gra teaches us an amazing lesson. This is from Rabbi Mansour, my holy grail. Hope he's watching this. Rabbi Mansour says, the Gra says that you want to get married, make an effort. Make an effort. Okay, I already embarrassed Nima. Who can I embarrass? Alan. Alan and I learn once a week, Baruch Hashem. We learned a couple months ago of how important it is to make an effort. You want something, you make an effort. You put a plan behind it. Just last week, he was telling me, I remembered what we talked about a couple months ago. I'm glad one of us did. And I've been making an effort in what we talked about. That's this Gemara. That's what God is telling us. Make an effort. Nothing's hard for God. Make an effort. Try. Pretend like you want it. Yeah, you bless a guy under the Torah. Sometimes he gets nervous when I bless him to get married. Don't worry, we're not charged extra for this, it's okay. I mean, your wedding will cost you more than this aliyah. Don't worry about that. We don't tell him that, no. But make an effort. You know what the last lesson is? Just like God changed, this is my own interpretation, just like God changed the sea's nature, so too we need to change our nature. You want to get married? We have to change ourselves. We have to change our nature. And society has ingrained in us what's important that's completely off what's really important. Right? At the Wynn at XS, you guys, I got to do a relatable example, yeah? They have a $10,000 cocktail. It's called the Ono Champagne. $10,000 cocktail. And they sell them. It's not just on the menu. Right? What has society told us you should naturally want? And by the way, this is great. We could tell you the truth here because you didn't pay to come, so I can tell you the truth and depress you tonight. It's great. What's the two things that are plaguing our community from getting married? For the men and for the women. Name it for the men and name it for the women. Be honest, don't worry. It's a safe, this is the Tuesday night group.
We already know them.
Okay. That's stopping us from even dating. You're right. That's stopping us from even getting to step one.
You already know them.
Okay. Beautiful. How so? Social media. Expectations. Expectations because of social media. We won't have expectations for social media. Let's be honest. What do guys want because of social media and everything they're seeing? What do guys want? Perfection. Well said. Perfection. They don't know how many plastic surgeries gave them the perfection, but it's perfection. That's what guys want. Why? Because that's what society told us. You should naturally want a beautiful girl that looks like, something that you painted. And unfortunately, what do some girls want? Oh, you guys are very vocal Tuesday night when it's all guys. Oh, you got some clips of that Ring camera. Be careful. See you sitting there in the corner all quiet now, Rashidi. Finance. Good. What a Kashi answer, huh? I like that.
I don't even think he's spicy.
It's okay, rubs off on him, Amu. We have a half Kashi president now. It's rubbing off on everybody. Finance. Why do we all want these things? Because of social media, because of what society tells us. She's got to look like these people on the whatever you call them, the reels, right? Reels? Am I getting the lingo? I love when people send me things from like Instagram or the other one. You can't press it. It's great. I'm like, sorry, I can't waste 30 seconds of my life right now. That's what guys want because that's what they see. And I don't blame them. Because when that's all you see and then you go on a date with a real human being, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And the same with the girls. I remember this guy comes to me, broke up with a girl. Come on, really? Again? No, this time, Roy, I had a good reason. Okay, give it to me. I need class material, you know? He's driving down a neighborhood and he goes to the girl, I was thinking of buying a house here. And she says, but there's no $5 million homes here. By the way, this is like 4 or 5 years ago, okay? Pre-inflation. That's like $10 million right now. So, you know, she's still single, I think. Funny is, the neighborhood probably does have $5 million homes now. But that's what, you hear? That's what the Gemara is teaching us. Break your nature. Stop looking at what society tells you is important. Nahal and I got married. We lived in a condo for 8 years with 3 kids. Yes.
I know I like am very outspoken tonight.
Thank you, Baruch Hashem. You're the Avi of the group. It's good.
We also talk about the fact that people are easily not like they don't want to commit. Like, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't know what context the girl said that. If she actually meant $5 million, maybe she was making a joke to see his reaction. But like that shouldn't have been so easily like, okay, I can't date her anymore.
So beautiful comment. I actually wanted to talk about that, but I didn't want to like bring it up. So I'm glad you did. Good 1-2 punch. Guys don't want to commit nowadays. Girls are nodding their heads. Guys are like, Nima is whispering, no, I would love to commit. Even though I tell you I don't.
He's looking for the fish that didn't die in the
He's still looking. Nima's very proud of that joke. Don't offend him, please. Why aren't guys willing to commit? Rabbi sent me a beautiful clip the other day, and actually, it's perfect timing. Rabbi Tatz had a student. This girl was living with the guy for 5 years. She brings up the word marriage. He's gone. Rabbi, what happened? I thought we loved each other. We lived together for 5 years. Oh yeah, duh. Why would he want to get married now? What's exciting to him? What is his motivation? I know that next Tuesday night, all guys, I get nobody here, do I? Sorry, guys.
Well, like, if the guy is down, wouldn't he commit? If he's not committed, that means he's not down.
So living together. So Aaron brings it. Okay.
Why would the guy leave if he's not down?
Living together before marriage. Look up studies. Don't look at me. AI, ChatGPT. Choose which one. Leads to a higher divorce rate. Period. That's a fact. The guys are less committed because there's less of a motivation. There's less reason to get married. I hear stories from you guys. I know, you know, the dating world is different than it was. Right? If there's one piece of advice to the girls, don't do it as Nima said. Value, you know, Rabbi Manson said, I love his jokes. You guys might not like the joke. When Eliezer came, the first match in the Torah, first marriage match, Eliezer was a matchmaker. He brings this girl, Rivka, for Yitzchak. And she's on the I think it was a camel or donkey, I forgot. I think it was a camel. And she sees Yitzchak, and what does she do when she sees him? She covers herself up. Rabbi Mansour said nowadays, girl sees a guy, she uncovers herself. You know, we got it all backwards here. And then he went on and on and on. I love it. I'm glad the Syrian community has the same issue as the Persian community. He's like, and then at the weddings, you're married already. Why don't you cover yourself up now? So we have a very bad behavioral pattern. We'll leave it at that. Girls, you want a guy to commit? Give him a reason to commit. Right? And if the guy is serious, the guy doesn't need to live with you before. He doesn't need to go to Mykonos with you. Right? I'm sure you'll travel well. I'm sure it'll be fun to go to Mykonos when you're married, God willing. And if you're dating for too long, maybe he's not ready. And maybe she's not ready. How long would you chase? I mean, think about it. In business, you would never waste your time or give up your resources without something in return. Why should this be any different? Does that make sense? Does that answer your question a little bit?
Yeah,
No, ask.
I was kind of talking more. Obviously, you're right. Girls shouldn't be giving it up so easy. I think that's definitely an issue. But like in little things like I mentioned, the jokes or whatever it is, it's like a perfect example is when you think back into a relationship that you had. It doesn't matter how you speak to each other, what you said, how you said it. Eventually, like he stayed with you or she stayed with you because they like you. There's no ifs, ands, and buts, right? But getting there now is just so difficult because everybody has a reason not to
Right.
stay.
Right. So Rabbi Twersky, Dr. Twersky, also first year marriage, calls us the disposable generation. We talked about it last time, right? We're the disposable age. Everything is replaceable. Everything's replaceable. But from what I've seen from guys, especially, the more serious they are from a learning and self-growth standpoint, the more ready they become to get married. I just had a guy, Friday mornings, we have a Parsha class, 7 a.m. Baruch Hashem, they just keep getting married, the guys, so we get less. One guy texts me, I couldn't come for 2 weeks. I'm so sorry. He got married, Baruch Hashem. He said, I'm trying to go to morning prayers now. It's exactly at the same time. I have no idea what I'm doing there, but I'm trying to go there just to be there. So that's beautiful. The guys who are serious about growth, who can wake up at 6:30 a.m. and make it at 7, Mike comes, Kayvon's there before me usually.
That's not true.
Okay, fine. Right?
7:05.
The people who can come and commit to something, they usually are the ones who are more ready and more. You hear? There's a higher maturity level. Unfortunately, our society has made us all kids. All of us. Does that make sense? More? Hopefully. Okay, there's a money bag at the end of that. Any other questions? Oh, Amu.
I know. We're doing
That's
great.
very, very impressed.
So a common issue that I face is, there's the career-oriented women, and then there's the housewife. Nowadays, I feel like they want a mixture of both, and they want to be the breadwinners if they want a woman who is bringing a second income and running the whole household. Do you think that's realistic?
Wow. Another shot for that one. It's a personal preference. I've had friends that wanted one guy in particular I could think of, hell bent on the girl has to work. Baba, she's gonna get pregnant. She's not gonna work anymore. Like, come on. She was Persian, and he didn't have it. He was just set on it. Listen, I think if a girl is willing to live within the means of what the husband can provide and not work, then why not? If you want my personal opinion, what I personally wanted, I wanted my wife to raise my kids. Rabbi Brander from Link, used to say you hide all your valuables from the housekeeper, yet you give them your kids. You hide everything, the $5 bill, God forbid it's left out. But here's my baby, take them the whole day. No, I'm gonna go for a weekend in Cabo. Here, go. Oh, we see couples all the time when we're out of town. Where's your kids? Oh, they're home with the nanny. Oh, very nice. No, I mean, doesn't it not make sense? So I want the person I'm gonna marry to raise my kids. I don't want Sonia and I don't want whoever else to raise my kids. The leader from the phone, Avi, I told you already. That's just a personal preference. Do people have people raising their kids? Yeah. It's funny. I get a lot of great story. I'm telling you, it's great. You guys give me a lot of great material. These guys were driving in a car. Oh, a girl's like, oh yeah, are you gonna get a nanny if you get married? Yeah. Well, I need one for each kid. Guy's single again. So it's not my cup of tea. Right? You marry someone, your kid is going to be like who they're around. The Rambam says if you live in a bad environment, go hide in a cave because your environment will affect you that much. So you could ask. We've spent, I think, 2 nights in our life away from our kids. And we were 5 minutes away at the Waldorf, Beverly Hills, for our anniversary. Literally. And I rushed in the morning to go get my kids for breakfast. Right? It's a personal preference. Hey! Ready for the slideshow?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Go sit over there. You're going to have to watch the slideshow. There's a surprise in it, okay? This is my Asher. We have the same birthday, just so you guys know. We are both born on Tu B'Av, the holiday of love. He's the romantic one. I didn't get any of those. Okay, so any other questions before we recap everything? How'd you guys finish the sushi? No questions? So last time, dang, everybody knows my password now. Oh, and everybody sees what you're watching, Asher. This is great. We're going to recap what we talked about last time. Oh, bah. We started with, it's not good for man to be alone. Okay? The Torah says, I had to make it relevant. I told you. It's not good for man to be alone. Why aren't people getting married? We talked about. We'll just do a quick 5-minute recap of everything we did last time and this time for all of those who had ADD. Why aren't people getting married? The idea of soulmate, besheret. Don't get fixated on the idea of soulmate. Okay? Why haven't I found the one? Rabbi Tats, the famous story, her nose was too big. Yeah, nice Photoshop, right? Even Persians don't have a nose like this. Come on. Getting blacklisted by the community after this. So, common misconceptions. Relationship is not a partnership. That was to your point, right? Dual income, this and that. It's not a partnership. You're marrying your other half. Literally. Disposable age. Everything is replaceable nowadays. Everything. I cracked my phone. I'm not even going to go to the Apple store. Right? What's the point? Matchmaking. We're not going to find our match at this club or that club for the most part. Right? Look for them in places where you will share common values. Like YSP, for example. Or Aish. By the way, there's an amazing event Thursday night at Aish, at Maury's. Lots of speakers all night, like 2 different caterers. Highly recommend signing up. What's the...
myhla.com. There's a job form. You can come see me if you want access. Roy's speaking, by the way, and he's the first one, so...
Yeah. Don't worry, no repeats from tonight. And different jokes. So be careful what you're looking for. The only reason I did the slideshow is for this slide. All right?
Let me put it on my story. Let me actually take a video so everyone can see my story.
We're all looking for Mr. Perfect. right?
Where'd you get? You gave him this picture?
Most handsome guy in this town.
Rabbi, I think we should just auction him off tonight. Get rid of him.
Guys, please, anybody, right?
Anybody?
No oil spill.
No. But in all seriousness, we're all looking for Mr. Perfect. It doesn't exist. There's only one of them. Right? It doesn't exist. That's it. He is. So get with reality. All right? Attraction, chemistry, important. By the way, they were still married when I made this presentation. Okay, FYI. Clearly, attraction and chemistry is not everything in life. It's important. You need to be attracted, but really look for someone with good character. Yes, that is Ella. She used to be small back in the day. Look for someone who has good character and is happy. Remember the story I told you when Rabbi Johari first met Nahal? What did he say? I like her. She smiles. Like, really? I'm going to marry someone because she smiles? Happy, good character. Culture needs to be similar, but doesn't have to be identical, as long as you respect each other. Respect is the key. What's your outlook on life? I really miss baby Ella, as you can tell. What do you want in life? What do you want? Right? Imagine if Nahal was an introvert and I was an extrovert. Okay, we are. But imagine if we had different outlooks in life. What would you do? How are you going to live with someone like that? Have serious, deep conversations. Not just about the weddings you've been to and this club and that vacation. Serious conversations. How is money going to be handled? If money is important to you, be honest. But seriously, as long as a guy is working, is not lazy, he's trying to provide, amazing. Work with him. Like I said, we spent 8 years in a condo, raising 3 kids, Baruch Hashem. Loved it. Loved it. Right? Don't marry for money. How long should you date? You remember the answer?
As long as it's no scholar rating like you.
Wow. Yeah, you guys remember more than me. Do you want to make her happy? That is the key to everything. I mentioned, remember the Nahal text story? On our wedding day, I texted Nahal. I had no idea I did this. She reminded me a couple years ago. My goal in life is to make you happy. On our wedding day, before we saw each other. You should want to make them happy. You find someone you want to make happy, you will be happy. All right? Studies have shown, you taught me this, Brian, that you get more when you give than when you get. Right? I think it's Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky. The famous story is he asked for the car. Let me check the back seat. What is he checking the car? The Ferrari is a Lamborghini. No, he wanted to see if it's comfortable for his wife, for the Rebbitzin. And working on ourselves. Always keep growing. As you can tell, we only had one kid when I made this presentation. The obvious slide was the new addition. Our 4th child now. It doesn't go with inheritance. Don't get excited. Always keep growing. You want to find someone who is always working on themselves. Physically, emotionally, mentally, always working on themselves. Focus on working your core muscles. Right? Focus on our core muscles. What's our core muscle? That's Asher, by the way, right? Pushing Noah on a bike. Yeah, I don't know how he's able to remember that. Focus on our core muscles, which is really our personality. We work on our personality, and the rest is history. Get to know yourself. We talked how important it is. We know more about celebrities than we know about our own self. Have you sat down with yourself to say, what do I want in life? You know, the best thing to do is to funnel, right? You heard about the funnel? You funnel your options. But you can only do that when you know what you want in life, right? If I know I want a girl who, again, keeps Shabbat and loves family, then that's my pool, right? If I want a guy who loves kids, he wants to be a hands-on dad, that's my pool of guys. And the last thing we talked about today was friendship is the key to happiness. Friendship is the key to any happy relationship. I never knew how much my little guy loves his mom, by the way. He missed her so much this trip. I'm like, man, you want to go back? Like, what is this? Friendship is everything. Any questions? Okay, we'll end with a cute story, as people like stories. So when we first got married, we lost our wedding ring. When I say we, I mean my wife. She lost her wedding ring, not the diamond. It was the band. This is like a couple weeks after we got married. So she was very upset because that was the band I gave her under the chuppah. I said, honey, I could just, they make a few of those. It's the one you gave me under the chuppah. We'll go back to the Hilton. I'll give it to you under the chuppah. You know what? It's the same thing. It's okay. Guys never understand women, by the way. It's okay. So she's upset. I said, let me look through the trash. So we lived in an apartment building. I went to the main trash. We shop at Trader Joe's. So it's easy, Trader Joe's bags. Back then, not everybody shopped at Trader Joe's, 10 years ago. Apparently, a lot more people shopped at Trader Joe's than I thought. I open the dumpster. I see a Trader Joe's bag. That's it. Take it out, go through. Nothing. I felt like those guys, on recycling days that go through your trash. Like, man, I'm like, this is like, okay, come on, take a hit for the team, bro. Come on. It's the first year of marriage. You got to give it all. 1 bag, 2 bags, 3 bags. Listen, she's not, should I just chill here for 20 minutes, pretend like I looked through all the other bags? You start thinking, right? And literally, finally, I see a glove. I open the glove, and her ring is right there. Right? Love is being one with the person. Love is following all of these things. Yes.
I think I know what she was meaning to say, like when she wanted the thing.
Oh yeah.
She was trying to say she doesn't want to get a new one because she wants the same one she did like everything with.
You're right, Asher. Good job. Good job, man. You're absolutely right. She was sentimental, just like you. She liked the same thing. So, Bezrat Hashem, everybody should find their match. Everybody should, hopefully, we all work on ourselves. It's a constant work in progress. I'm reading books. You guys are all reading books. If you want any advice on books or lectures, tapes, I shared a little 1-pager of Dr. Lieberman, Dr. Tversky, various different speakers that are amazing. You could listen to them in the car ride. Why waste your time in traffic, right? People shut down streets all the time, apparently. Listen to something productive instead of their garbage chant. Work on ourselves. I'll hopefully be able to share with you again. And if anybody wants to be set up with someone, girls with a girl mentor or guys, just reach out to myself, Rabbi Avi, and we'll make it happen, Bezrat Hashem. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.